Okay, we got everybody? All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us for today's month of service presentation of Money, Health, and Wealth Financial Capability. This presentation today is For the Love of Money, How to Better Maintain Your Relationship with Money. My name is Nia Murray. I'm Programs Coordinator with Neighborhood Recovery Community Development Corporation, and we are one of the partners in the month of service program. And joining us today is also one of the AMOS partners is Ms. Myra Hippolyte with the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods. And our presenting sponsor today, for our financial capability series is with Family Houston, Ms. Monet Cheney, who's going to be doing our presentation today. But also included in our month of service partnership, in addition to NRCDC and the City of Houston, is Lone Star Legal Aid, the Earl Carl Institute, Harris County Tax Assessor Collector, Harris County Appraisal District, Houston Volunteer Lawyers, and the Houston Bar Association. And collectively, we make up a month of service, which is a collaboration of all of our different organizations that host a month-long set of workshops relative to asset building, asset protection, community empowerment, and the maintaining of generational wealth, and also addressing any legal concerns that the community may actually have as well. So, but today we're here for our Money, Health, and Wealth Financial Capability, our asset building series. We know that lots of people kind of don't really pay attention too much to how they spend their money and where they spend their money, and not really focus on, what is it that I need to do to maintain? What is it that I need to do to build? What is it that I need to do to actually save to create a better quality of life for your own self, and what that looks like for you. So we're going to be going over a lot of information here today. We ask that you please feel free to be as interactive as you'd like to be. We do have our presenter with Family Houston, who is a financial coach, who is here to help answer and address any questions or concerns that you may have about today's presentation or anything like that. We do ask that you try to keep your questions to be as general as possible and not go into any too many detailed personal details about your own personal situation, and ask that you contact Family Houston outside of that, so that way you can get more one-on-one contact or consultation. So we are streaming live on our social media platform at Amos Houston TX on Facebook. We are also recording this session, so which is why we are trying to protect your privacy as much as possible. So information that we're presenting here today is for educational purposes only. It is not construed as financial planning or financial advice, but it is educational information. And again, we do encourage you to reach out to organizations like Family Houston for more one-on-one personal detail, financial assistance, financial coaching, and things of that nature. So with that being said, I'll go into a couple of other upcoming events that we've got later on. And I'd like to go ahead and introduce our partners that are joining us, and we will move right on into our presentation. So Ms. Myra.
Good afternoon. My name is Myra Hippolyte, and I'm with the City of Houston Department of Neighborhoods, and on behalf of Mayor Turner and Assistant and Director Takasha Francis, we want to welcome you to the Month of Service Partnership. This collaboration is all about giving you back free information. We want to let you know that whenever you're going through whatever stressor you're going through in your life, that you're not alone. You have a team of partners that is walking through this process with you. The one thing that we want you to know is you have to attend our virtual workshops so that we can assist you and give you whatever information you need. Guys, life is hard, and we just want to let you know that the month of service is about that, a month of giving free information. Welcome to this amazing team, amazing partnership, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much.
All right, Ms. Monet.
Hi, my name is Monet Cheney, and I'm a financial coach with Family Houston. And what Family Houston does, we provide different services to the community, and one of them is being free financial coaching. I will go over a little bit more details about financial coaching at the end of the presentation and how we can help you guys reach your financial goals. Okay, so to get started with this month's presentation, we're going to be talking about money mindsets and how to create a better relationship with money. So just some learning objectives for the presentation today is understanding your money mindsets, ways to change your relationship with money, and as well as creating SMART goals to reach your financial goals and be successful. So I like to start with this statement, and I want you all to fill in the blank. And feel free to unmute yourself to let me know what your answer would be. So the more money you have, the more money you what? So feel free to unmute yourself and say what your answer would be to this statement, or what words you would fill in.
Unfortunately, I say spend, because it seems like that when you get more money or what you think you have is more money, something else always pops up. So I'd say spend. Ms. Jamaica also says spend.
Oh, me too. Spend, spend, spend.
I like to say save. I'll throw in save, as well as you have more people asking for money. So the more you give.
Isn't that the truth?
And then Susan Smith says the more money you have. Anyone else? How would you, what word would you put in this statement? The more money you have, the more money, the more you would.
Invest.
So, yes, investments is good too. And that is a good tool. So some of us say like we bring in more money, so we end up spending more money. We end up increasing our expenses. Just say, for instance, you start making more money at work, or maybe you get your tax return. You get this more money in, and instead of saving it, you actually spend more. And then you have those who have the mindset of they like to hold on to their money. So when they fill in this blank, they might say things that pertain to savings and investing, or they want to grow their money, which also ties with saving, because you're going to save and earn some interest on your money, or you might invest or get some type of investment to earn a greater return on your money. So when you think of this statement and you think of how you fill in the blank, it really pertains to what your beliefs and values are around money, and how you treat the money that you bring into your household. So when it comes to money mindset is your unique and individual set of core beliefs about money and how money works in the world. It is also your attitude about money. So again, when the mindsets that you have around money, how you spend money, how you save money, how you invest money, I even throw in how you lose money, because sometimes you might have investments where you lose money or you lose track of money. So all these things, like everything you do with money, all your behaviors around money is all based on your beliefs and values, how you were raised, the things you learned about money growing up. So all these things make up your mindset around money. So again, your money mindset is a unique set of beliefs and your attitude about money. It drives the decisions you make about saving, spending, and handling money. When it comes to your money mindset, it shapes the way you feel about debt, your attitude towards people who make more or less money than you, how easily you give, and your ability to invest with confidence and more. So, and you guys can put this in the chat box, or if you want to unmute and share, what are some current mindsets that you have about money? What are some things that you learned growing up? when it comes to money. I'll start off. So when I was growing up, my mom, she was the type of person where she was always on top of everything. She actually is an accounting major, so she was always paying her bills on time. So she always talked to us about, paying things on time. She always told us that you shouldn't borrow more than you can afford to pay, and you shouldn't loan or give money that you can't afford to lose. So those are some things that I've learned growing up that shaped my current mindset around money. So just from the group, what are some things you learned growing up, or some like beliefs or attitudes that you have about money that shapes your money mindset? And then you can unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself if you want to speak to everyone.
So I was trying to find in the chat to share it, but I'll share this. I learned the 30-50-20 rule relative to savings, and so, or handling money, if you guys can hear me, and that's 50% of your income towards essentials, 30% towards discretionary, and then 20% for savings. And I live by that to this day.
And how long have you been using that rule?
So I learned it growing up. my mother lived it, but I just recently really submitted and committed to it probably within the last 5 years.
Okay. And how has it worked for you?
It's worked well. It's worked wonders. I've been able to have money saved when things pop up. I had a family member to pass away, and I was able to reach into my savings and help out. And it's helped because I could visualize what's there. I like seeing my money, in the various categories, and being able to kind of plan accordingly if I want to take a trip, or as a single dad, if I want to do something for the children and something elaborate, I can do it and I can plan around it, and I know what I'm working with. So it's been effective. I like it. I really do.
Yes, I hear, just based on like this rule that you set for how you handle money, it is like your belief is you need peace of mind, and you need to know that you have that security and you have that money set aside to cover all your bills. And then if there's anything you want to do or any emergency, you have that cash available.
Absolutely.
Anyone else wants to share before we move on? And then you guys feel free to add anything you would like to share in the chat box. And then when we have a moment, we'll go back and check. Okay, so why is it important to understand your money mindsets? The reason why you want to understand your money mindset is because it's what you believe will drive your behavior and your relationship with money, which will lead to positive results. So when you start to think about like your beliefs and values around money, like the gentleman said, the different rules that you set for yourself on how you handle money, things that you learned about money, it drives your behavior and your relationship with money and how you handle money. So if you are having certain types of behaviors with money that is leading to like a negative result or a result that you don't want, say for instance, for example, someone saying, I need to save $2,000 for, I'm moving into a new apartment and I need to save $2,000 for moving costs, deposits, etc. But the type of behaviors, they're overspending every month. And then they say that, okay, well, I haven't saved this money. Why can't I save this money? And so now they have to step back and look at what their spending behaviors are and what's driving those behaviors, and then find ways to change those behaviors to lead to the positive result that they're looking for, which is they're going to now have that $2,000 that they need for those moving costs. And this could be for any financial goal you have, or just any type of positive results that you're looking for when it comes to your money. Is if you have behaviors that are preventing you from getting those results, then you need to step back for a moment and assess what these behaviors are, what your mindsets are, and how can you change those mindsets in order to get the results that you're looking for. So how do you determine your money mindset? So here are a few questions that you can jot these down. You can take a screen grab of these questions, or if you do a quick Google search money mindset questions. But these questions will help you determine what your mindsets are around money. So first is, what do you believe about earning money? Do you think time creates money or value? The next one is, what do you believe about saving and having money? What do you believe about debt? And how do you feel about paying your debts? What do you believe about spending money? And how do you feel when you spend money? And lastly, what did you learn about money growing up, and how did it shape your beliefs around money and your relationship with money? And so the gentleman, he answered that last question for us. But if you have a moment today or tomorrow, try to answer some of these questions to determine what your actual mindset is around money. And if you feel that that mindset that you have is not leading to certain results that you're looking for, then what are ways you can change those behaviors or those mindsets to lead to the results that you're looking for? So lastly, the money mindset are things that can influence our behavior with money. And so when it comes to how we handle money, how we spend money, so we can look at, like, what are our mindsets when it comes to cash use versus credit card use. So when I think of cash, like, I'm the type of person, like, I cannot absolutely have cash on me, because if I have cash on me, honestly, my mindset is, I don't want to lose that cash. I don't want to spend it. I want to hold on to it. But then when it comes to credit card use or debit card use, then sometimes people tend to not track it because they're constantly swiping their cards, and they're not tracking what they're doing. And so it's like, because you can't see or feel the actual money in your hand, you tend to spend it more than you might spend cash. Do any of you have that same belief, or what is your belief or mindset when it comes to cash use versus credit use? Anybody want to share? And again, you can add in the chat box, and then we'll go back and check in a moment.
I'd say a lot of people also sometimes feel like when they have a credit card with a credit limit, they automatically try to use that credit like cash, and not like a savings, or think, oh, I got extra money. No, credit card is not extra money. Credit card is just, just that. It's a line of credit, something for you to use and to kind of dip into, as opposed to thinking that credit, that available credit, is just extra money for you to use.
Right. And then also you don't have the mindset that it's an expense versus, like Nia said, extra income. So if you are someone who is overspending on your credit cards, or you're using it as a form of extra income, and you feel like you're getting out of control with your balance, and you're getting more and more in debt, one of the things to do is to change that mindset and to think of a credit card usage as an expense. So every time you swipe that card, now you have a new expense that you have to pay back, because you always have to pay it back. Usually if you get income, or you get cash income, like say from work or from friends, family, or it's like extra money that you're receiving, you don't have to pay back cash income. But when you use a credit card, it's an expense and you have to pay that back. So that's one thing to think about, it when you get income in cash, that's money that you shouldn't have to pay back. But with credit card usage, you have to pay that back. So anyone else want to add about how you feel about using cash versus credit card usage?
I do. This is Jamaica.
Mhm.
So when I use credit cards, I see it as an extra bill that I have to pay it back. But when I use cash, I know that once it's gone, it's gone. So for me, I take the money off my debit card for like the month, and whatever I have is all I have.
Yeah, so do you do like a cash envelope system?
No, I usually so I tend to lose my bank card, so I have to go to the bank anyway. So I just take like maybe $100 for the month, and that's all I have. So it keeps me from going out to eat, makes me cook at home, and not just do unnecessary things, make unnecessary purchases.
Yeah, so you feel like having cash, you want to hold on to it, versus when you have your debit card or credit card, it's like, oh, okay, I can spend this. Where a credit card you spend and you're like, okay, I can buy it now and I'm going to pay it back later. And then, it starts stacking up or building up with a balance because you don't pay it off in full. But with cash, like she said, you want to hold on to it. So if you only give yourself $100 allowance, like Jamaica does, then you tend to reduce some of those unnecessary spending that you might do if you're only using like your credit card or using your debit card. So the next money mindset I want to talk about is keeping up with the Joneses. So we all should be familiar with the concept of keeping up with the Joneses. And basically, it's like we're spending money based on what we see other people are doing. And the crazy thing about the way the world is now, everything that everybody does is on social media. We are a society of people who overshare, and we share everything that we're doing. And so when we see people doing things on social media, we see influencers on social media, or we watching YouTube videos, or watching reality TV shows. Some of us start building this mindset as oh, okay, I love that person's lifestyle, I have to have it. Or I love what that person is wearing, or I love how that person's house look, I love that person's car, I gotta have this. And so sometimes when it comes to the concept of keeping up with the Joneses, we don't know what the Joneses is actually doing to earn the money or to buy the things that we see that they have. So what can happen is, if you don't have the income to support a certain lifestyle that you're seeing on social media, or you're seeing through friends, family, neighbors, if you don't have that income to support that lifestyle that you're wanting, that you see someone else has, then you end up going into debt. So, and the thing is, since you don't know how that person is supporting that lifestyle, they can essentially be in debt. So they can be someone who is stacking up debt just to impress or influence other people to have what they have. So when it comes to keeping up with the Joneses, is almost just considering what your beliefs and values are. What are your financial goals? What resources do you have available to live the type of lifestyle that you want to live? And then just making sure that you're making decisions about how you spend your money, how you earn your money, around who you are as a person, what you believe in, to allow you to be able to have a financially stable life. So do anyone want to talk about keeping up with the Joneses and how they feel about it? Otherwise, we'll move on. So the next thing when it comes to money mindsets is just talking about how we shop and how we spend money in general. Of course, there's so many forces out there that is trying to get us to spend more and more money. And so some of these things are, you have your in-store and you have your online marketing. So you go shopping in a store, you see all these sales signs, you see signs that say, if you buy 3 items, instead of those 3 items being $7 each, they will be $4 each. Or if, or you might see that, okay, today is 30% off everything. So, and then same thing with online marketing. Like there's websites, it seems like they'll say 60% off for in the next 5, if you buy in the next 5 hours. And then I'll notice that every single day, it'll say the same thing. And so these are things that we have to pay attention to, is how companies try to pull us in with their marketing to get us to spend money. And then even just thinking about, like when we go shopping in different stores, how the store is set up, how like some items that are more expensive might be on a certain shelf, or it might have a certain like design or look to it to make certain people want to get the more expensive item versus the cheaper item. And then also thinking about, like when it comes to reward points, sales and promotions, that sometimes to even get those points or those sales or those promotions, you might have to spend a little bit more. Trust me, stores like, I'm going to use Ulta as a prime example of, you know, because it's a store that give you reward points, or they might have sales. Like if you want to get $5 or $10 off, you have to spend $20. And maybe I went into the store to only spend $10, but now I'm spending $10 more to save $5. So we just have to think about like how these different promotions, even like all the stores having reward points, and in order to get the reward, you have to spend more and more money to get those, just to get something for free or to save a few dollars. So when it comes to how we're going to change our behaviors around shopping and spending money, we need to consider how some of these things are driving our behaviors. And this is what these people get paid, the people in marketing get paid for, is to get you to want to spend more money by enticing you with these sales, promotions, reward points, even like social media ads and direct shopping. It's like, I can, like everywhere you go online, there's an ad for something. Even if I say to myself, oh, I need to buy a blue shirt, and then all of a sudden I'll start seeing blue shirts all over social media, all over Google, if I'm on Google searching things. So these are all these things are here to drive a behavior to get us to spend more money, and to always keep like certain things that we and to make us think that things that we don't really need, we do need, because it's always there in our face. So they're enticing us with, hey, if you spend more now, then you can save later. Or, you know, these sales, if you don't buy it now, then it's not going to be this price ever again. So we need to consider how stores and how companies set up their marketing, set up ads and things to get us to spend more money. And I don't know if you guys have noticed that even now, if you're someone who is on Instagram a lot, they have set up a way where you can directly buy things out of somebody's picture on Instagram. So it's like we can't even get away from not wanting to shop or spend more money, because they're making it so much more convenient for us to window shop and actually buy things, versus when you're window shopping, you're just looking and not really intending on buying. Does anybody want to add to how these type of things might drive the way they spend money? Or do you guys have any examples of things that you've seen that causes people to spend more money? And again, just feel free to unmute yourself or add in the chat box.
There's only one time that I've really been influenced by commercials. I like to see them. They're interesting, if they're humorous, even more so. But about 3 years ago, we started seeing so many commercials using dogs. And one of them was the Subaru cars. And they have this whole, you know, ad marketing around dogs. And that did get us to go look at the Subarus. And now I have one. So I did fall for that marketing, although it's turned out to be a very good car. But that was a marketing ploy that got me.
Yes, and one thing that I want to add is when it comes to marketing, and I'm talking about behaviors a lot, because essentially money mindsets is like, it's like the psychology around money. People in marketing and these companies, they have psychologists who study how people shop. And when you get these surveys and things, these online surveys that you fill out, then they know like what type of ads. So they know that people love dogs. So Subaru probably paid someone a lot of money to tell them that if you put dogs in your commercial, you might sell more cars. It's just kind of crazy to think about like how much these things drive our behaviors. And also just knowing and understanding these things and understanding that a sale is always going to come back around. Like it's never a one-time only sale. It's going to always come back around, or these promotions are going to always come back around. Or just because you see it everywhere online. If I search Old Navy now, every website I go to, I'm going to see an Old Navy ad. Just because I'm seeing that Old Navy ad everywhere I go doesn't mean I need to run to Old Navy and buy something. So it's just like we just keep it in mind, like how these things influence how we spend. So let's talk about emotional spending. So this is just things that are how our emotions drive the way we spend more. Some people like to spend more when they're happy. Some people like to spend more when they are depressed. Some people like to spend more when they're having fun. So like if you're going out with your friends and you're having fun, so you're going to end up spending more money while you're out, or you're on vacation with your family. And you're having fun with your family out on vacation. you're going to end up spending more money or feel like you need to spend more money. So again, if certain spending behaviors we have that is driven by our emotions is causing us to not have a positive result, then it's like to take a step back and think about how is a certain emotion driving the way we spend money, and how can we change this emotion towards spending money in order to change our behaviors. So again, it happens all the time where, you know, just the way we feel in the moment may make us spend more money. Sometimes I'm a type of person where if I feel like saving money on something is going to be an inconvenience for me or cause me more stress to save that money, I would just spend more money for the convenience. But it just depends on when that particular thing is happening. Because for the most part, I want to save money on things, and I would take the time to research and save money. But if I'm feeling a certain emotion to where I feel like saving money on an item is going to cause me extra stress, or I'm already stressing in the moment, then of course I'm going to spend a higher amount because I just don't have the energy to deal with, you know, doing the research and finding something cheaper. So again, it's like we have to think about how the different emotions we have can drive the way we spend money. And if anyone want to add, just feel free again to add to the chat or to unmute yourself. So the next thing I want to discuss, and I know I spoke about this earlier on a previous slide with marketing, is selling happiness and social media influencers. So it seemed like for the past maybe decade, social media influencers and just accounts in general online has been creating a certain type of marketing where they're selling a certain type of lifestyle, or they're selling, we like to say they're selling happiness, or they're selling luxury. And the thing is, these marketing companies now, or just different companies in general that are selling things, are using the social media influencers to create a certain lifestyle to get us to spend more money. And so now it's like we can't even get away from marketing because we have everywhere online that's trying to influence us. And then one thing you have to keep in mind that influencers, that's a job for them. So in some cases, they are going to say whatever that company tells them to say in order to get you to buy that product. And what I've noticed, like over the years, where people who follow influencers, they become attached to this influencer, and they like watch everything they do, they follow everything that they do. So then now it's like they have an emotional attachment to this person online, and so they're going to spend more money. And I'm going to use home decor as an example, because I noticed that there are a lot of influencers online who all they talk about is home decor. And so it's specifically about Target. So it's like now, like if you go to Target and it's like something you want to pick up, then it's always sold out because you have online influencers that are influencing people to spend more money at Target and to buy more things. And so we have to keep, again, these things in mind, that, again, people on social media that are promoting certain products, that they are getting paid to do so, and they're getting paid to sell this happiness and to get to influence you to spend more money. And we have to really consider how we're being influenced, even by others, especially other people that we don't know, and how those influencers might be getting in the way of certain goals that we're trying to accomplish. So what can we do to change our money mindsets? So number one is getting an understanding of your money mindset. Number two is paying attention to your current behaviors and habits with your money. A great way to understand what your behaviors and habits are is to do an accurate budget and to track your spending. Either this is going to be based on your bank statements and your credit card statements. If you spend cash only, then you're going to handwrite or save receipts, and having an understanding of what your spending habits are monthly and what your current behaviors are will kind of give you an idea of what you need to change. Next is make small actions to change current beliefs and habits. So I don't know if you guys heard this, but there's a rule that it takes 21 to 30 days to change a habit. So sometimes if you give yourself like 21 to 30 days and you change a small action, and that small action can lead to a better or more positive habit. So if you're someone, I like to use Starbucks for an example. So if you're someone that your current behavior is every day you stop at Starbucks for coffee. And so, and you spend $7 every day on coffee at Starbucks. But now you're wanting to save some money in your budget. So what you can do is, instead of going cold turkey and cutting off Starbucks, unless you can cut it off altogether, but instead of going cold turkey, maybe you say, okay, I'm only going to go to Starbucks once a week, or I'm only going to go twice a week instead of 7 days a week. And I'm going to do this for 21 days. And then once that 21 days have passed, it's like second nature. So now you're only going 2 days a week. And now you can say, okay, I'm going to cut it down to 1 day a week for the next 30 days. And then you just keep making those small actions, and eventually you'll start changing some of those habits that you want to change. Next item is change negative beliefs and thoughts to positive affirmations. So if you do have like negative thoughts towards certain things or certain negative mindsets about money, figure out ways you can turn that negative belief or thought into a positive affirmation. For example, I don't have the money to save. So saying I don't have the money to save can be considered like a negative thought. But then you go and you do your budget, and then you find that there is money to save. So now it's just changing is I do have money to save. I just need to do X, Y, and Z. And then I can save more money. And then lastly is set SMART goals and create plans to achieve your goals. So having an actual plan, and I would recommend writing it down so you can see that plan and is actually tangible, will help you achieve your goals a lot better. Here is just some other ways to change your money mindset. So you can read some books. So there's a lot of self-help books out there, or a lot of information out there that can help you change the way you feel and believe about money. Again, understanding your beliefs, give away some money. And that could be like maybe giving away as far as like donating or to either church or to a nonprofit agency or a charity. Dreaming about retirement. So if you're dreaming about retirement constantly, then you might want to save more for retirement so you can have more money to live a certain lifestyle. And then lastly, just believing that success is possible. So if you have that belief that you can be successful at something that you're wanting to do, then more than likely you're gonna be successful at that action or goal that you're trying to accomplish. So earlier in a couple of slides before, I talked about creating SMART goals. So a SMART goal is actually just a goal that is clearly defined. So it's specific. You have the ability to measure your progress. So you know if you're getting closer to what your end goal is or not. It's attainable. So you analyze whether or not this goal is something that is easy for you to accomplish, but is so that means it's not too difficult for you to accomplish, meaning that it's going to be hard for you to reach that goal. And then also it's not too easy to where you easily complete the goal and there's no value to it. So just making sure that this is something attainable for you to accomplish based on, when it comes to money, just based on your income and resources that you have. And then there's relevant, making sure that the goal is relevant to who you are and what you're trying to do. And it's not based on what someone else is doing, and you're just making sure that it's relevant and it fits who you are and what you need to do. And then lastly, SMART goals are time-based, so they have an actual deadline. So for example, if I like to use a 52 weeks of savings goal as an example of a SMART goal, because with the 52 weeks of savings goal, basically your deadline is a year from the day you start. So today is February the 2nd. So 52 weeks from now, it'll be February the 2nd in 2023. So that would be your deadline. It's very specific. So you're gonna save about I think it's about $1,400. So you have an actual dollar amount that you're gonna save in 52 weeks. And then how much you save per week is broken down for you. Is measurable. So as you're setting aside that money each week, then you can measure your savings account growing by looking at your savings account. Or if you're someone who likes to save cash, you're seeing how much more cash you're having. So it's measurable. It's attainable because the 52 weeks of savings is not too much of a challenge because the dollar amounts are not too high per week. And so it's easy for most people to accomplish. And then it's relevant because if you have an actual goal in mind to save, then it's relevant to something that you're trying to do. And that's just an example of what a SMART goal is just making sure that when you set goals, that you're clearly defining out what you're wanting to do. You have a way of measuring it. Is something you can easily accomplish, is relevant to what you're wanting and needing to do, and you have a timeline as to when that goal, as to when you want to accomplish that goal. Before we end, did anyone else have anything else to add about what we spoke about today? And you can either unmute yourself or share in the chat box.
I just wanted to include too, when you were talking about change, like negative thoughts, negative, behaviors and things like that, that sometimes people hear the word budget, or I think it was that one. Yeah, change negative beliefs and thoughts to positive affirmations. So a lot of times when we have these workshops, or we talk to people about when they're saving to try to buy a home or what have you, the word budget comes up, and budget automatically becomes that negative connotation that I've got to restrict myself, I got to stop, I got to do this, as opposed to using the example like you shared. Well, instead of you doing, Starbucks, 5-6 days a week or whatever, then you can cut back to 1 or 2 days a week. And I just so happen to be one of those guilty people that have gone to Starbucks quite often, but I found out what the ingredients were and bought them at Walmart myself and made my own drinks. So that saved me a lot of money instead of going to, so that way I was able to save money, but still enjoy my Starbucks. So there's ways that you can kind of put that, like you said, the positive spin on things and not automatically think that if in order for me to save, I have to completely deprive myself. And it also helps when you create like a partnership or what do you call it, like an accountability partner, like for somebody that can kind of help motivate you, because making these changes, especially if they've been habits that you've been doing your entire life, is not going to be easy. So it's good to have that person to help encourage you and help motivate you, or even make it a competition and you guys compete. Let's see who can save the most money, or who can reach this goal before before our next birthdays or something like that, and then reward yourself. My dad used to always say, don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. So in order, when you go to work every week and you get your paycheck, it's okay to reward yourself with something, but just kind of be conscious and aware. And one of the things that we've done is also to help people with becoming aware and conscious of their spending habits is to create, is we did our 30-day bag challenge. And basically what that is, it's a Ziploc bag that has instructions on how you start to save your receipts. So for 30 days, you put all of the receipts for everything that you purchase in that bag, every bill, every gas, every lottery ticket, every Starbucks, everything that you purchase, put it in that bag. And at the end of the 30 days, take it out and add it up and see exactly where it is that you're spending your money. Because like you also said, swiping that card becomes a habit. It's easy to swipe versus you have that money that you've set aside, like Jamaica does at the end of the month, and you realize that money is gone and you wonder, where did I spend my $100 on? Where did I spend my little stash of whatever? Where did it go? This helps you to become aware of how and where exactly it is that you're spending your money. So then you can start to figure out, okay, I spent this much money this month on this. I can kind of cut back a little bit. Instead of spending $50, I can spend 40. Well, then once you start getting in that habit and you realize, I spent 40, let's see if I can spend 30, and kind of just go from there. Just take little small steps. You don't have to automatically assume that saving or changing your mindset about money has to be this big, huge thing that you have to do all of a sudden, this big tragic change. It's like a diet. You call it a diet, and then you start starving yourself and depriving yourself. And the next thing you know, you're binging out on junk food and, fast food somewhere, whatever, because you just kind of fell off the wagon. But if you kind of start making gradual changes, then it's not so easy to fall back into your old habits. And then in addition to that, it's basically what works for you. Like you were saying, don't let somebody tell you what you should be doing and how you got to do it. It's what's going to work for you and what goals you need to set for yourself. What is it that's going to make my life a little bit better? What is it that I can do to create this habit to start saving? What is it that I can do that works for me? Because what I do, the whole 30-day bag challenge may not be for everybody. The envelope system may not be for everybody. The 50, 30, 20 may not be for everybody, but everybody has their own thing that they can do for themselves. And it's just a matter of trying to find out what is it that I can do for myself that will work for me, that I know it won't be so easy for me to fall off the wagon. I can't start no diet and think tomorrow I'm ready to stop eating sweets and not going to Starbucks just like tomorrow, cold turkey. That ain't gonna work for me. I already know that. So if I already know that, then I know, okay, let me step back and figure out what is it that I can do. So that's my 2 cents.
And you know what, Nia, I can only speak about married couples. When my husband and I first got married, I was handling my own budget and he was handling his own budget. And that was so difficult when we got together to work through that process. But now, after many years, we have our monthly budget meetings and we sit there and we call it the negotiation process. But, we've come up with a process that works for us. And it's, and it's very hard when you are young couples that you used to do things for yourself in your way. And when you get married, when it comes to a budget, working through that budget, you have to work through it as a team. not as, well, I did it this way and this is the way it's going to be. You have to come up with a process that you're both happy, you're both content, and it's a team process. Budgeting is very difficult as a married couple, but it can be actually an enjoyment process if you work it out right. Because look, eventually then you can buy your new home, you can buy your new cars, you can put so much money in your investments, so much money in your savings, you can pay up all your credit cards, and you're looking at each other like, wow, we did this together. It's not an I program. So budgeting is so important, but not only for you learning as a single person, but once you become a couple, that you have to learn to work through that process as a team and not trying to fight each other also.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Especially if you had two different sets of money mindsets.
Yes, indeed.
And so I'm single, so I can't speak on it, but I can understand how you know, as a couple, if you have two different mindsets, how that could be a challenge. And you just have, like Myra said, you have to learn each other mindsets and then learn like where to compromise so you can reach a goal together.
You know, my husband used to say, hey, go out to the backyard and look. And I'd go outside and look, and he said, do you see a tree that has growing money in it? And I look at him and I come back in and I say, no. So then we sit down and work through, because we're both very independent. So we've learned to enjoy this monthly budget negotiation process. And then once you start one month and then the second month, and you start seeing yourself growing as a team, as a partnership, and then you start seeing how much money you're investing, how much money you're saving. Look, you bought a new home, you bought a new car, you were able to do this and that. You start saying, okay, you know, but it's not just one side of the process. You know, budgeting has to be two people working together to make it happen. You know, we'd love to say it's my way or the highway, but in a marriage, you have to work together as one team and negotiate, which is very difficult to do, but you can do it.
Mhm.
And that's why, like, even in coaching as a financial coach, when I have clients who come in and then they say that they're married, and I see how when it's just, if it's just one or the other that I'm speaking to, and we're doing a budget, I'm like, okay, something is off. And so what happens is, if the other person is not involved, then it's like, okay, it looks like they're spending too much money, or their money is not matching their income. So then I'll say, okay, well, you and your spouse, or you and your, if they're not married, like you and your significant other, y'all need to come together and put everything as one household.
Indeed.
Because it would make more sense if it's one household and not two separate households.
Not to mention, you just don't want that friction when you have to try to tell somebody that they can't spend the money that they work for. So that won't work. That won't work at all by any means. So
and you know, I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm very, and I can tell you, I'm very tough to deal with, because once I decide something, this is gonna be. But I really love how my husband and I work. It's basically a business, and we're both working at it together. We're one team, and we basically handle everything else like that. But at first, and with younger generation that you're first getting married, don't give up on that process. Don't get so angry that, you know, my mama or my dad or so-and-so said we got to do it this way. You actually have to find a medium that you both are happy, because you both worked very hard for your money. And the most exciting part is when you work so hard for your money and then you see it grow together. Mm-hmm. That is something, an amazing feeling that I can't explain. When you can go in and you walk into the first home you both bought. You may have bought a house by yourself, but when you both have worked hard to buy that first home, have worked very hard to save this certain amount of money or invest in this certain stock. Guys, there's nothing better. But I'm going to be honest, it's very difficult. So you have to be very patient with each other, but also look at the end goal. Don't, and it's not your way, her way, or it's not your parents' way, because I have younger adults that are married and I love to tell them what to do and they kind of roll their eyes. And so I understand it's not your parents' way, it's your family's way, you and your spouse's way.
I had to have that conversation with my parents recently. That, hey, it's my money. I would take your advice. You can give me, you can tell me your advice or your knowledge, but you have to be okay with what I decide to do with my money, because this is it's my household. And I also wanted to add like roommate situations too, because you can get a roommate that have a totally different mindset around money, and then that person is not paying their portion of the rent and bills. So, with me having he's about to be adult this year. My son keeps talking about he want to move out when he graduates, and he's going to move in with his brother. And I keep telling him, I'm like, well, make sure you and your brother have your finances together and y'all are on the same page before you get a place together. Both of you guys need to start working on your credit before you move out. You need to create a budget. You need to understand like how much it's going to cost before you move out. So that's another thing to keep in mind is when you in this household with other people, how do they think of money?
And you know what? It's so funny because having a budget does not mean you're starving either. You should create a budget that if you can afford a specific car so that you can go on a vacation, so that you can go on and buy some clothes. It doesn't have to be the best car and it doesn't have to be the best house. There's a process to everything. So you have to look at your budget thoroughly, completely, so that you can actually live your life. A lot of people say, I want this specific car, but then they're starving, or they miss their rent, or they don't have any money in their savings, or their credit. When you look at their credit, it's horrendous. So you have to live your life according to what you want, but you don't want to be starving, and you don't want to mess up your credit and be just live just specifically for that car or that house. You have to be open-minded, not close-minded to what you want.
When you mention about having credit that's horrendous, a lot of people get discouraged, when they try to create those goals for themselves and they say, oh, my credit's bad, or I can't do this because, my score is XYZ or whatever. You also have to keep in mind that, your credit didn't get to where it was overnight. So to fix it or to get it back, I hate to say fixing credit, but to get your score to where you want it to be, it will also take some time to get it back to that location. Again, it goes back to like having that diet. You didn't blow up and gain 300 pounds overnight. It took a period of time, so it's going to take a period of time for it to actually go away as well. So when I mentioned the 30-day bag, when I email out everyone's going to get a link for the recording of this session in case you'd like to go back and review it again or share it with someone else. You feel free to reach out to me if you guys are interested in receiving the Ziploc. It's a 30-day bag that we got that has all the instructions and everything that's written right on the outside of it that tells you, how the 30-day challenge actually works. So if you are interested in one of those bags, then please, feel free to let us know and we'll be happy to send them to you. We would typically distribute them when we were having these in person, but, because, we're doing everything via Zoom. We do still have those available if anybody is interested. So definitely shoot me an email or send me a response back to say, hey, can you send me a bag? And, and we'll definitely make sure that we get it sent out to you. So, yes, Jamaica, definitely send me a note and let me know that you like to have that bag, or even a couple of them. If you guys have family members and say, hey, all of you guys need to be doing this, I need 4 or 5 bags, then let us know. We'll definitely send them out to you. So are there any other comments from any of our participants that you guys would like to add, or any habits that you've changed or would like to change, or if any of you are interested in reaching out for a one-on-one session with Miss Cheney, we definitely encourage you to do so. She just included her contact information there. For someone that's joining us via phone, Miss Cheney, do you want to go ahead and just tell us what your information is so that people can hear?
Yes, so if you saw on the previous screen, these are all the things that we help with. Financial coaching at Family Houston is a free service. I meet with my clients once a month to provide the accountability, resources, and tools that you need to accomplish whatever personal financial goals that you have. And you can contact me directly at 832-987-2023. If you're wanting to get the first available coach, because there is 3 financial coaches at Family Houston, you can call our main line at 713-861-4849. And you're always welcome to schedule via email, or if you have any questions, you can email me at mcheney@familyhouston.org.
Okay. With that being said, I see we don't have anyone that's interested, and we're not going to give you the pop quiz or call on anybody or call anybody out. So with that being said, we are, I believe we have wrapped up. Myra, is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, just remember everyone that we have other virtual workshops, and go to www.nrcdc.org and register. And if you have any other virtual workshops that you would like us to create or you would like to see, go ahead and let us know, and we'll definitely accommodate. Thank you, everyone.
All right, tomorrow, what do we have coming up for tomorrow? Tomorrow we have the wills and legal advance planning and why you need it. So if you guys have family members that have questions or need to get information about creating a will or an estate plan and what documents actually make up an estate plan, please feel free to join us for that. In addition to that, let's see. What are our workshops that we have for next month? I'm trying to find my schedule for our money, health, and wealth. Oh, here it goes. Let's see. Well, we have for our community empowerment series on Tuesday, we have our the importance of jury service and what that actually means and how it impacts your community by serving on a jury. That's coming up on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. For those that are interested in home buyer. Yes, ma'am.
On that, how do you think it serving on jury, how do you think it impacts a community?
Well, I mean, for a lot of folks, they immediately think it's just a day to get off work or a day to be tied up, missing work or something like that. But it definitely creates the impact. So because if you've got, and I hate to get political, if you've got a targeted number of folks in a particular community where things are happening, you find yourself in court, but the people in your community are not the ones that are serving on the jury. You've got other folks from outside influences that are making decisions about what happens in your community. Same thing that goes for voting. It's important that you vote for what's going on in your own community so that you can be empowered and you guys can make decisions. That's one of the most important things about serving on a jury, so that you guys be able to make the decisions about what's happening in your own neighborhood and how people are punished for certain crimes or who gets awarded or rewarded for civil damages. You know, jury duty is not just about crime, you know, criminal court cases and things like that. There are civil cases where, you know, when someone's been damaged, hurt, or things like that, that a jury has to decide on to what happens and what monetary gains come out of those types of those cases as well. So, so yes, it is definitely important to get that information as to why it's so important about serving on a jury and what happens in your community. So those types of workshops are what our community empowerment series is going to be about. We're doing those every Tuesday. Every Wednesday will be our asset building series. So next Wednesday, we're having our homebuyer education workshop. for you to get information about becoming a first-time home buyer or becoming a home buyer and a more informed home buyer. So if you or your family members or people that you know, for the older folks here that have those adult children that are still living at home and you want to influence them to become homeowners so that they can get their own stuff, then definitely encourage them to participate in the first-time homebuyer education class. It is a lot of information that gets covered there, including information about various down payment assistance programs that could assist with paying for your down payment or your closing costs to help you with becoming a homeowner. So
And yeah, on the first time home buyer class, do you have to be a specific age? Or is there?
absolutely not. Absolutely not. We get people that range from fresh out of high school into college that are past beyond retirement age, or people that are in their 70s that are buying homes for the first time. That, you know, the one thing in their goal that they wanted to do is to make sure that they became a homeowner before they leave this earth. So regardless of what age you are, regardless of your socioeconomic status, this is a lot of great information that that everyone can actually benefit from. So in addition to that, you know, folks will say, oh, when I bought my house, oh, it was like this, it was like that. That process changes on a regular basis. No two situations are ever alike. Everybody's circumstances are completely different. You know, your credit is different, your income is different, the type of home that you're trying to buy is different. So nobody's process is ever the same. So it'd be great to kind of get that information so that you'll know, okay, hey, I remember them saying something like this, or no, that does not sound right. Or if you think somebody's trying to kind of get over on you, you'll know, you know, what questions to ask and kind of, you know, how to maneuver through that process and make it better and informed decisions. So definitely join us for that. And then next Thursday is our handling inherited property, which clearing title and other probate concerns. You know, what happens after your loved one passes away. You get a property that's been inherited that has a tax bill on it, that has deferred taxes on it, or you've got multiple heirs that own all the same property. You don't know what to do to, you know, to either keep it or, you know, not keep it, let somebody move in it, let somebody, whatever it is, the case with that inherited property, we're going to provide you with that information as well. So there's a variety of different workshops that that A Month of Service provides on a monthly basis. So we definitely encourage you guys to come back and receive that information as often as you can, as often as you'd like. And if there are some workshops that we do not currently offer, we ask for your input and your feedback. Let us know, and we will be more than happy to look into offering those specific topics for you. But for the purpose of Money, Health, and Wealth, I did want to tell you what we were doing for next month for our financial literacy, financial capability, our asset building series. Next month is budgeting, getting control and of living beyond your paycheck. So how do we help you and give you information about living paycheck to paycheck and preventing you from going to those payday lending places. So there's going to be a lot of great information that Ms. Monet is going to share with you guys next month. So certainly invite you to come back, and hope you guys join us. Bring somebody with you when you come. We'll be more than happy to have you guys. So Monet, thank you very much for taking the time out this evening. Ms. Myra, thank you for joining us. All of our participants, thank you guys for tuning in on Facebook as well. You guys have a wonderful remainder of your day, and continue to do whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself and keep yourself safe and healthy. So you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamika and Torian, for inputting.